Annie, I feel like you have some strong thoughts on this.
Instantly trash. Absolutely not.
Throw them
Block,
out.
throw them out.
Hello, SLC students. Welcome back to the SA podcast. For the students, by the students. My name's Gabby, and today we're going to be talking about friendship drama, all the lies, all the low-key hookups, and all the backstabbing. So just want to give a little disclaimer before we get into it that this is just our opinion, doesn't reflect that of the school. If you watched the last episode, you know the drill. So before we get into it, I just want to give a little introduction to our guests. So we have Annie. We have Ben, who was on our last episode with us, and then we also have Nathaly. Okay, so if you watched the last episode, we're going to be kind of going back to some Reddit stories. Everyone seemed to like those. It gave us lots of content. So first Reddit story. About 2 years ago, I became friends with my best friend. Around the same time, I had a crush on a mutual friend between both of us. Over the course of about 3 months, me and the mutual friend started to date. We ended up dating for around 5 months, and it never got super serious. We decided that we would all just be friends. So we broke up. Fast forward to now, I caught my best friend in a lie, and when I pressed a little, he confessed that him and the mutual friend had been dating for the past 6 months. Hearing this made me feel like I'd been betrayed, and I don't really know what to do now. So the floor is yours, guys. Give me your honest thoughts about what they should do. What would you guys do in that situation?
Okay, so I don't know, but in my case, I really believe that friendship has, like, you cannot cross some boundaries, and relationships is one of them. Like, for me, if one of my friends have someone, I'm not gonna have it. Like, that's something shitty for me. You don't touch it, you don't take. So for me, I think it was a really bad decision for the other two, because if they really have love or whatever, they at least should be talking with the first person that was in the middle. My personal opinion.
Yeah, that checks out. It's like they're already close enough. Might as well talk about it.
Yeah.
Annie?
See, for me, it's like, I didn't say if it was like a boy. Are they two guys?
It didn't. I think it's like, yeah, 2 guys, because it just said when I pressed him a little.
Okay.
So I think it's 2 guys, and then they dated a mutual girlfriend.
Okay. Well, either way, whatever gender it is, bro, code. Come on, man. Like, you don't. There's no mixing drinks here. Like, you dip into one, then you can't dip into the same as your friends. Like, that's just not how it works, because then that's just gonna cause tension and everything. But like, since it's already been done, like the damage has already been done, you can like try to talk about it, because in my mind there's always like the bros before hoes, friends before guys. It's just like friendship is more important, because at the end of the day, like, friendships last, and in most of the cases friendships last longer than relationships do, or sexual relationships. So I think it's worth sitting down and like actually having a conversation and sorting it out, whether that be, I don't want you talking to that girl anymore, then that's a whole other issue. But I'm sure if they actually care and like care about their friendship, they'll be able to figure out how to kind of make that friendship work still. Because I think friendship is ultimately more important than any relationship.
Well, I think that, like, obviously this guy must have been like a little bit scared about telling this guy, because he kept it secret for a while, right?
True.
So if he already felt like it was a not good thing to do, of course when he found out it was. So like, I get where he's coming from, being scared, but like nothing good comes from sweeping it underneath the carpet, kind of thing.
But like, at the same time, if you knew that your best friend was gonna be upset about it,
yeah,
that's why do that? Like, there are so many people in the world.
Like, if you felt like you had to keep it a secret, you probably, like,
right?
How
like,
should you really be doing that?
You knew that it was gonna hurt your friend, so why would you do that? I don't see the point.
Yeah.
So would your opinion change depending on the time span between now and the breakup?
Yeah, so I feel like it was like X amount of length and it was like long enough, but like, you know what I mean? Like, if they were like, if what happened with the first guy and the girl was like a year ago, it's like, okay, well, that's whatever. They weren't even together that long.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if it was immediate, that's a little bit like, were you flirting with her as I was dating her?
So it was like kind of like if
sketchy,
it's immediately after, it's kind of just like,
sketchy.
well, were you like scouting her out before you even broke up with her, kind of thing? Yeah.
The entire time we're dating, were they talking? It's like,
yeah, so it kind of leads to some trust issues there with the friendship and possibly with your last relationship.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm not completely agree with that. One thing, in 1 year or 2 years, the friendship is the same. Like in my case, the way that I see is that if you have a relationship with someone that you shouldn't, or that if you have to lie to your best friend, you know that you are doing something that is wrong. Like that's what I really have in my mind, or at least you know that your best friend won't be happy. So I don't think it will be on time. It doesn't matter if the breakup or now, if it's immediately or it's 6 months, 1 year. I still believe it's still the ghost. Like you don't touch whatever.
But
your
what
friend
if
did.
like he didn't keep it a secret and it's been like a year?
If he didn't keep a secret, it's different. You try to have like your friend and like understand the opinion, it's different. But
Yeah, that's fair.
they keep
That's
the
fair.
secret, so that's the real point here.
That's fair. I get that.
I think that this whole thing could have simply been avoided if the one person was like, "Hey, I know that you dated this person. Would you be all right with me doing that?"
No.
Like, and then if they say no, then you say, "Okay, man, like I'll back off. Like there's so many people in the world." Like
Yeah.
it could have simply been like resolved, and there could have been no fight if you just sat down and had a conversation as friends. Like
Yeah.
if I'm sure that they could have worked something out, because like time frame, it is like if it's like I dated this person in high school and now we're in second year university, like
Off limits still.
yeah, but like it's just like I feel like the more important part is always communication. Like you could have simply sat down and had a conversation and sorted this out and got it right at the start instead of hiding it and being all like snarky and getting caught in a lie trying
Yeah.
to hide it from your best friend.
Which really looks bad on your friend.
Exactly. Like what
Yes.
kind of friends are you if you're hiding and like dating their best friend behind, or their past
Good friends, that's
relationship
what-
behind their back? Like
Yeah.
I can't.
Gabriella, do you have input?
No, I agree with everything that you guys are saying. I think it just kind of comes down to communication as always, right? Like even if you think this girl is like the one, you still could have had that conversation with your best friend, because they're gonna find out eventually. Like if it is your person for life, what are you just gonna like hide it? What happens at your wedding? What you just not even invite your best friend?
No
Like
surprise.
it's gonna happen at some point. They're gonna find out at some point. So might as well have that conversation before anything were to happen, before any feelings were to develop, so that way you can not get emotionally invested before knowing what your best friend's like boundaries are with that, right?
Maybe
Yeah.
you didn't think the friendship was good enough.
Oh
So
my
let's
God.
toss this to the side.
Who cares? I mean, okay, I will say with that one, I guess
Where's this
it
going?
kind of depends if it's like just like not a that close friend, or like your best friend. Like if it's your best
Fair
friend,
enough.
fair. If it's
Yeah.
like some girl
Distant
that I like
guy.
chat to like or work with, like if I like your if I like your ex, I'm gonna go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I'd probably sleep with one of Ben's exes if I wanted to.
You do not want to.
Trust me on that one, you don't want to.
It's a rough one. Sorry?
No, it's fine.
It's fine? You sleep with my exes too?
fine.
No, yeah.
Okay.
Just the
Okay.
one.
So moving on to the next one. I've been in a friend group
Oh,
for 2 years now.
That's impressive.
So official.
Man, is this podcast or getting personal?
Okay, so I've been in a friend group for about 2 years now, 5 girls including me, and it's always been super fun when we go out. But sometimes I feel a little bit excluded. They often leave me out of plans and say, "Oh, it was a last minute thing," as an excuse, and I've since learned that they have a whole separate group chat with me excluded from
Oh.
that.
absolutely
Yeah.
not. Absolutely
So,
not.
hold up, it gets better. So about 2 weeks ago, I brought my feelings to one of the girls who I know is the one encouraging others to leave me out. And since then, none of the girls have spoken to me, even the other 2 girls who I'd say I'm pretty close with. This has hurt me a lot, but I don't know how to handle the situation without making it a bigger deal. So, yeah, I kind of just want to get your guys' thoughts on that. Like, Annie, I feel like you have some strong thoughts on this.
Instantly trash. Absolutely not.
Throw them
Block,
out.
throw them out. Real friends, like genuine friends that you want to spend like your, not to sound cheesy, but like the rest of your life with. Like I've spent too many times like in high school with shitty ass friends who genuinely left me out of things and like literally made me question my self-worth. It's like, why do they not like me so much that they have to make an entirely different group chat and leave me out of plans that like I made? Like, am I allowed to tell a
Wait,
story or
wait.
something like that?
Yeah,
just
go
don't
for
name
it.
names.
No. So once I love pasta for backstory.
Okay.
Definitely ride or die.
That's way out of left field, but okay.
Ride or die, my favorite food. And so I was talking to my group of friends at the time, and I was like, I think we should have a pasta night where we like literally make our own pasta. I think it would be super fun. Maybe drink some wine.
I mean, that sounds fun.
Yeah,
I go.
And then they proceeded. Just wait. They proceeded to do the plans without me,
Oh,
and
my
then text it
God.
in our group chat saying, "Hey, are we still on for pasta night?" And just not include me.
What?
Like, yeah. So like, I have a very low tolerance for friends who don't make me feel worthy. Like,
Man, that's rough.
if you have friends that are intentionally leaving you out of plans and making group chats without you, instantly no, cut them off. They're not worth your time. Like, absolutely not.
Yeah,
If they're making you question your self-worth and think that you're not good enough, then they're not your friends, and there's better people out there for you. So
Yeah.
that's my opinion. Absolutely
Especially
not.
when they're stealing your idea.
Exactly.
And then running
Like,
with it. Like, what?
yeah, bro.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
You're telling me.
Yeah.
Alright, now that we have progressed and talked about food, my fat ass wants to
Oh
know:
my God.
has anyone here made pasta before?
Absolutely not.
I
No.
want to
No.
try. You have? Oh
pasta?
man, I
You
want
have
to try.
to
Well, like
Yeah.
homemade pasta,
Homemade
not out of the
pasta.
bag?
Like-
Oh,
like-
yeah.
Can you make a
like
pasta?
flour
Can you
and
make pasta?
water.
I know how to put
You
the
have?
boil or water.
I want to try. I want to try. I think it'd be fun.
I was like, Ben, you haven't made pasta?
No, I want to try it. Oh, boiled water? That's easy. But that's what
Well, I don't
mean.
know. It might be complicated.
It
Yeah,
probably
it's
is, honestly. Like, you guys know how to boil water? All right, sorry. Off to you.
Okay. My real thought is like, friends. It's so difficult when you have group friends, like when they are very big, because I find out when my years start passing in my life that I lost more and more and more friends. In my case, the only thought that I have, they are not your friends. And when you are
100%.
young, you really, I believe that, not in my case, because I have my boundaries very like, no, like I will never accept that. But I know for people that they will accept that just because they feel that they are not worth it. So it's like, in this case specifically, I will say, like, for sure they are not your friends. Second, they really don't care anything about you. So just run, not throw it,
Don't
run.
run.
Like, go and find something else. Because
Amen.
really, like, the
Hmm?
first thing in
Amen.
life for everything, in the way that I see, is like professional, personal, or whatever is happening in your life, is that you're a priority. And if whatever is next to you doesn't know how to take you as priority, just take it away. And
Right.
next.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Can I say something else?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I don't know what to talk about.
Raise your hand next time, Annie.
Sorry. Right now, I live in a house.
Do
What?
not do that.
Sean did it.
He's not on camera.
Right now, I live in a house with there's like 5 girls total, so like including me. They're all absolutely amazing. I love every single one of them. And I find a lot of people's like reasonings for, oh, like people get left out in big friend groups. It's like they say that it's just big and people can get like forgotten about and stuff. But like, I live in a house full of 5 girls, as I said, and to some extent, like there's not a car, like we don't have a car big enough for all those people, right? So like there are gonna be times where like 3 of us go and the rest stay back, but that's not us excluding people. We still make it work, is basically the bottom line that I'm trying to get to. Is it's possible to have a group of girls be friends.
Really?
Yeah, I know, right? You would have thought. Like,
Who
I
would've
know you're
thought?
defying the odds. But basically what I'm saying is that it is possible, and it's not like you shouldn't shy away from having big friend groups because you're scared that they're gonna like explode. There's just a lot of examples of people just being dicks, sorry, and just not like. Now I'm just ranting.
throws up an emoji of an eggplant.
But either
Annie's
way,
livid right now.
but either way, it is possible to have a group of 5 girls be really close friends, but you just need to make sure that you're realizing your worth. And in that case, absolutely not. Block, run away, never speak to them. Maybe even
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's
they're not worth it. Like, at the end of the day, if people in your life are gonna do that to you, they're
pretty
not
rough.
they're not worth your time, right?
Absolutely
Like,
not.
invest your energy, invest your mental health into something
Yeah.
better,
Yes.
because like that takes a toll on you. You know what I mean? So yeah, definitely not worth it.
Yeah, that's absolutely the most rough thing ever. Like, oh my god.
Actually, I'm really curious. does this kind of exclusion happen in male friend groups as well?
It can. It hasn't happened to me before that I know of.
'Cause
So
you're
maybe
just
there's
so
better.
cool.
You don't have
You're
friends,
just so
Ben.
cool.
No, that's actually Gabby's reason.
Yeah, okay,
No, like that or they're just really sneaky. So, but I just feel like I'm pretty close to all my friends. So
Yeah.
if they
Guys
were to
aren't
do something
smart
like
enough.
that, thanks Annie, I appreciate that. So I feel like if that were to happen, like it'd be like a surprise birthday.
Although, okay, I will
There are
say,
other,
I
like,
feel
A
like
surprise
beneficial.
birthday?
Yeah, you won't throw me in the
surprise birthday.
Let me have my hopes. Like, it hasn't happened yet.
I feel like he's dropping major hints right now.
I would love like a
So I have
little
friends
surprise.
bash.
Sorry.
That you're saying, I have a very good group of friends, but I never have a surprise birthday.
But
don't
it
know
still
friends
hasn't
if you
happened
know.
yet, so I appreciate it. Oh, it's July 24th. If you feel like bringing presents up to the SA, I will not be in Kingston, but you can still do it.
I'll take them. I'll take them.
Well, my birthday's
can
sooner
watch
for
it.
anyone that cares.
I care.
Yeah,
I care. When's your
it's
birthday?
July 24th as well.
You guys have the same birthday?
No.
Yeah, we do. It's nice.
When's your
Mine's
birthday?
April 24th.
Oh.
That's That's real soon.
I'm a whole year older than
What
them.
are you, a Taurus or some shit?
Taurus vibes.
Okay, I saw the last episode. Let's just stay away from astrology. Like, let's just.
We're not even gonna
I've
bring
seen
that
how
up.
the males handle.
You know, it's
So-
kind of funny to me though because Ben hates people who bring up astrology, but
I
yet
do,
every
I
single
love
episode
it.
here he is bringing up astrology.
Yeah,
I
it's
love making fun
start
of it.
shit.
It's my
He's trying to
favorite
start
thing
shit.
to make fun of.
He likes it. He knows he's rising and everything.
The funny thing is, I do.
Okay, so the next one, here we'll just wait for Annie to finish her ice.
Bro, you're just like.
Sorry. I'm trying to suck every part of it that I can. That's what she
It's just,
said.
it's just ice at this point. Take that away from her.
Yeah.
Bro, then what am I supposed to do with my hands?
Here, have some black coffee.
Absolutely not, but I will take this. Okay, continue.
Continue.
So I hooked up with the guy my acquaintance / friend, not super close, more friends than mutuals, has been kind of talking to. I've known them both for a bit, and he has told her that he's not interested romantically with her, but she hasn't really left him alone. Now he's completely stopped talking to her, and she's so upset and doesn't really understand why. My close friend who I told is telling me I need to tell her, but I just know it's gonna blow up, and I don't really want that. So
Well, this kind of throwback to what you said earlier, right? Where you said like, "Well, how I'm not even close to them, so I'd go with the ex." Remember?
yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we know your input.
No, this is kind of different. So this particular situation actually happened a very similar one happened to me back in my high school days.
Do tell.
I was like grade 12. It was like the summer of like after graduating grade 12.
Century.
And yeah, I ended up telling her because I felt so bad. Like she really liked him and she didn't understand why he had just stopped talking to her all of a sudden.
Gabby swoops in.
Yeah, you were fucking? Damn.
Wait, how'd that go when you told her?
Well, I literally no, she actually was really like nice about it. She wasn't mad at me.
She's like, "Thanks, Gabby."
What?
I want to know how it started.
Oh, you want to know the whole story?
Yeah, tell us how
Okay.
you met the guy.
I think your story is gonna be better than Reddit.
Okay. So, it was a pool party.
Oh!
Yeah, so we were all half naked. So let's start there.
Nothing good happens when you're half naked, folks.
I know. It was a pool party after graduation. So like I think it was like June or July or something like that. And we were all hanging out, and me and him had been friends for like a while,
How long's a while?
like since grade 9, grade 10.
Okay.
And you were in grade 12?
I was in grade 12. Well, just
Okay.
graduated. Yeah, so I was like 18.
Solid years.
Yeah. And me and the girl, we were just friends through a mutual friend, right? So like her friend was one of my closest friends.
Oh, so you weren't really friends with her that much.
I wasn't really friends with her, but I was close friends with someone who we were both close friends
So like
with.
if the close friend left, you guys would just kind of sit in silence. I'm
Yeah,
just
like I
trying
didn't
to-
talk to her.
Okay, I'm just
Ah,
trying to get
okay, well, that's
gist.
not-
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Continue.
That's a little bit different.
And yeah, like basically they were like talking the whole night. I didn't really 100% know they had a thing going on, like not fully. And then I drove him to a party, and like things just escalated.
Wait, in the car or at
Yes,
the...
in the car.
In the car. Oh shit.
Yeah.
And he was rattled.
Yeah, man. Is it getting hot in here? Or is it just me? Damn.
Give her ice back quickly.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I
So
told my
are
whole
we
family
talking-
this episode was gonna be more tamed.
Oh.
anyways,
you hit on it.
So, no, he asked.
He's like,
Like,
Gabby,
he literally
I'm on
wanted
top of
to.
You
now.
finna fuck right now, or
Hey, baby,
No,
you
we
drove
had,
me
like-
to a party. Let me
We
pay you
actually,
back. I don't have my wallet.
No, we
What was
actually,
the approach? What was the
I'll give you some.
approach?
we actually
money.
hung out. We actually hung out for like 2 hours. So like, I goes to the party. We kind of got into a deep conversation about him and this girl.
So you
So I knew
Oh,
at
you
that
friend zone
point.
your way to fucking.
Yeah.
That's like every girl's dream. You're like, no, let me hear about all your issues, and then 2 minutes later, it's like, damn.
Wait, that's actually like a girl's dream? What?
Yeah, bro. Everyone who gets in the friend zone.
I had some game in high school, guys.
Yeah,
I'm
bro.
not gonna lie.
Yeah, Gabby with the W Riz.
W is and
Riz on
Rizology.
point. Yeah.
Cam tamed me over the last couple of years.
The next podcast, can it just be called like Rizalicious, and it's just all the ways to Riz guys?
It's just like Gabby as like a goddamn predator cam. Like, please stop.
Okay, yeah, so anyways, that happened, and then our mutual friend was like, she's literally crying every single night because she doesn't know why this guy just
Are you like
literally
with her as
ghosted
she's
her.
crying?
No.
You're
but she-
fucking
Oh my
as she's
God.
crying.
Gabby's just like listening. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry for you, girl. This,
I can't
Well, I
believe
was like, I just knew that this was gonna like develop into a big thing, so I was like, oh my god, like this is not what I want to do right now. But she was like, okay, well, it's making me really uncomfortable because I know what happened, but I can't sit there and tell her.
You lived
what
it.
happened. So anyways, we were at high school one day, back in the
Really?
day, yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. And I don't know what we were doing. I think we had like some graduation or whatever. And
Yo,
Sorry, I'm sorry.
you need to take this.
Sorry, there's a lot of drama happening in my house right now. People are crying. I just needed to make sure everything's okay. Continue.
But yeah, so I just pulled her aside and I was just like, hey, like, I'm really sorry. This is what happened. I didn't mean to hurt you.
Did it feel
Things just
kinda
kind of
good?
like, I literally was like, things just kind of happened. I didn't go in with the intent of doing that.
But if you want to join,
You know what?
If you want to join next time, go talk to Sean.
there's another seat in the car.
Paris gets pretty
Oh my
crazy.
God.
Paris gets pretty crazy.
I'm pretty sure she went here too, so that's
Oh!
unfortunate if she ever
Say hi. Say hi.
Hey, girly pop.
Call her up by name. Call her up by name.
Drop her at.
Enjoy inviting her testimony and
Oh god.
Can we invite like 2 people that are fighting and just get them to fight on the podcast?
Like Judge
Oh, that
Judy
would be so
style.
Can I just
Hey,
bring in all of
Judy.
my roommates?
Oh my God. Just like
That'd
group
be a
therapy
good
with
episode.
Sean.
Okay. So anyways, so
you can answer the question.
Oh yeah.
so given the situation, what would you guys do?
If I was the fucker or the one getting fucked.
Yeah.
Like-
Which
Or
person?
the one
No,
that like
because I
slept
get
with
backed
her.
over. So you. If I was you in
If
this
I was the
situation.
Gabby in this situation.
Sure.
What about the crying one? The
No.
fucker, the
We're
fucking
not.
and
If one
crying one.
picks a rule, getting fucker, and
Wait, but
I'm the fucker. I'm always.
That's not good.
no one's gonna be happy that time.
Ouch. Get out.
Ah.
I'm getting destroyed here.
Every time he comes on this episode, he just gets.
Well, he's an only man. Like, what does he expect? To
I
not
come
get
in, drink
attacked?
my coffee, and get attacked.
Okay.
Sorry. So, if I was in Gabby's position,
Don't say in my position.
Was this really from Reddit?
If I
Yes,
was-
it was. It was
she actually
very
just wrote this
similar.
down and
Yeah,
she's like,
it's your diary.
this is from Reddit, I swear.
Seeking help.
The diary entry.
Guys, it's your diary. I need help. I brought this on the podcast this week.
Oh my
You
God.
guys kill me.
Gabby, tonight they found me out.
Okay. Natalie,
Starts making
why don't you
alarms.
start us off?
Sí, wait.
Okay. Do you want to just move on?
I'm my cheeks red now.
I know.
Guys, I'm getting sweaty.
Yeah, me
Sean,
too.
can
I
you
feel
just
like I
fan
just
me?
outed myself to the entire school.
I'm a heater, I'm not a lace.
Oh, I see you.
I feel like I'm gonna get hate mail.
How dare you? Like,
I
I'm gonna
just
kill you.
scroll contacts you.
Death
It's like,
threats.
you brought up my story.
A DM. Hey, girly. So it starts with the hey, girly.
I know you were talking about me.
No, you took me on my behind my back. First you fuck this guy behind my back, then you do this behind the
I'll be like, sorry, girl, you gave good content.
It's all
Back then and today.
Look, it was 5 years ago, okay?
for the clout. It's for the clout.
She's still not over it.
Long-term storytelling.
Yeah, it's not like this was recent. This was like 5 or 6 years ago.
Girls hold grudges.
They do, though.
I'm a
She never talked to
grudger.
me again after that. Yeah, and I requested to follow her on Instagram, and she blocked. So
Unfortunate. Why do you think she blocked you?
And she's
apparently she
gonna be
really
like,
liked him. Apparently she loved him.
I'm sure.
I know,
She
I was like,
crying.
You just went in and risked.
I'm just crying. Man.
You just can't
No, but
contain it.
If she
You're
was
too
crying,
sexy.
maybe she
You
liked
can't, you can't blame
She's crying,
me.
but she
No.
liked
I mean, he wasn't
Because
too
she liked
proud.
you.
You're
Oh yeah,
delicate
yeah, that's fair.
flower.
Yeah, that's fair.
You could blame the flower.
Okay, Ben, what's your thoughts?
I feel. How long were they talking for again?
She's like,
Good question.
It literally doesn't say. Well, they were talking, but apparently the past couple months, past couple weeks, he's been telling her that he's not really interested romantically.
so he already cut it off.
Yeah, but she's just not listening.
So then she's like,
She's not listening. She's forcing her love to like, you will love me. Throws it, buys a love potion.
I think with that we just get
We know who that relates to.
Okay, yeah. So, after all of this, my opinion is like very easy. He did the right thing. He cut it off. The reason that the girl that was crying stopped it or not is not their fault. So that's reality. Like, if she was crying because she feels something, it's their feelings. But he cut it off. He did the right thing from the beginning. So I don't see like the wrong part of the
Also-
story.
In the story, does the girl who's crying, did she tell him about her feelings, or was she just fantasizing a relationship?
No, like
think
they
he
were.
was-
Are we talking about my situation
I
or
don't
this
think you're talking
situation?
about your-
We're
Can we
trying-
just
we're trying to get
make
back
this
on
whole
topic.
thing about Gabby?
We're changing our.
Can this
Um,
question be about this?
No, it doesn't actually say, to be honest. But honestly, I would assume that they would still have been talking, but just he was trying to like slowly like lean her off,
Yeah.
kind of thing. I would
Yeah.
assume, right?
So,
Like,
again, just to clarify what's happening here. So, this guy was talking to a girl, and the girl lost interest, started talking to another guy.
No, other way
No.
around.
oh my god,
Okay,
Ben.
this is the girl.
Can we just
Okay,
next
Gabby,
question?
Can we move on?
Next question.
Gabby
Why
like
not?
threw me
Just
off
move on.
track heavily with
Let's
her
just-
story, and now
let's
I'm
just
lost.
move on. We just can't handle the risk.
I think.
Girl A loves guy 1.
Okay,
Guy 1 fucked with girl 2,
okay.
who have a mutual friend, which is girl 3 with girl 1.
Yeah.
That's it. But
You can't handle
boy,
it. You can't handle it. Move on.
Okay, next question.
Next question. Too many people to remember.
Me, 26 female, and my longtime best friend, 26 male, have recently entered into a romantic relationship, and it's taken a while to get there, but we just started wondering about exploring that possibility. Anyway, all of a sudden, he just isn't acting the same. He isn't saying whatever he wants to me anymore, and he isn't teasing me as much as he used to. I can't really explain it, but the dynamic is just changing. I don't feel as comfortable around him anymore, and I'm starting to feel like I made a mistake. I can't lose him as a friend, but I don't know what I'm gonna do. I do like him, but things just feel really uneasy, and something feels off.
Well, they didn't say how long they're dating for, but I'm assuming based on the context there, it doesn't seem like they're dating that long. So
Probably not.
yeah, so maybe he also thinks it was a mistake, and he's like doesn't know how to act around her because he's thinking like, what do I do now?
Yeah, so I kind of thought that too, but I was kind of thinking, could it be regret or could it be a tough time getting comfortable outside of like the friend zone? Because that takes a while to like, because you've been
Because
best friends with this
that's
guy
true.
and girl for like so long, and now you're trying to look at them romantically, and it's like, that's weird, right? Like,
Mhm.
my ex, personally.
Oh, here we go again.
Gabby's going on a rant.
No, me and my ex, who are still friends to this day.
Yeah.
But we were like best friends for like a year. And then we entered into a relationship, and it was like 3 months. But it was really difficult, and I think it ended because like a big part of it was because we couldn't view each other as
Romantically.
more than like best friends, because it was so weird. It was like, yeah, you just couldn't get out of that friend zone. You just couldn't like view them as something other than like the best friend that they've been. You know what I mean? So that was what it was for us. And I was kind of thinking, like, when I was reading this, I was like, that might be what it is for them as well. Like, sometimes it takes a little while getting comfortable with not being a friend, because, like, that takes time, right? Or it could just literally be regret.
Yeah, like, different change of dynamic, right? Going from, like, playful, now you got, like, responsibilities to each other, and, like, beforehand, it's like, oh, I'll see you, like, next week, maybe. It's just friends, and now they're like, oh, well, now I need to talk to you.
I have to text you tonight. Yeah.
Now it matters what I say to you.
Yeah, putting that pressure on yourself, definitely. Like now it matters what I say to you, right? Like, yeah.
But again, it doesn't say how long they were dating for. Like, maybe they were dating for a year.
It just says recently.
No, never mind. I guess it's not a year.
I would give that like 6 months or less.
Yeah,
like
that's
definitely.
Really...
What are your thoughts?
My opinion, to be honest, like, I really value a lot friendships. So at this point in my life, I really believe have a friend is sometimes very difficult. The same difficulty to have a relationship. So I will get more in the point that maybe regret, because if I have a best friend for a long time, I would really think a lot, like, it's worth it that I miss all of this, like that support that I will have my whole life for maybe 1 to 3 months that maybe won't end up fine. And the other thing is, like, the way that I see is when you're best friends, you know so much about each other. And there is one point that even if you are mature enough, if you have your mental health completely, you know what was happening before. You know who he was fucking all the time.
I didn't even think about that.
So,
yeah, true.
I really believe it's not... I go completely for the point of regret, because I think it will be so many things in your head that maybe won't get you to a real relationship, even that the love is there.
She knows too much.
Yeah, and he knows too much too.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine you're walking and you're like, oh, my friend, that you know that is not my friend.
Yeah.
I think it will be awkward, to be honest. So I will get for the regret side.
Yeah.
Any input?
Sorry, I'm having a hard time with this one. Like, like I'm trying to think of something to say, and the only thing that's coming to mind is that if it's not working, don't force it, and then just fuck. Like, that's...
Would that not literally make it a million times worse?
Probably. Like, friends with benefits.
Oh, no, don't do that. If it's your best friend,
I feel like if it's your best friend, no. You gotta enter friends with benefits with, like, not actually being friends.
Yeah, no, right. Fair enough. Yeah, I don't have a lot of input for this one. It's really...
That's wild input.
Annie's turn comes around, she's like, I suggest they just fuck.
Fixes everything.
That was just nuts.
Problem solved. Dynamic fixed.
Guys, don't pay attention. Don't fuck your best friend.
Or do, see where it goes. Maybe we'll find it on Reddit.
Yeah. Maybe we'll find it on Reddit. Maybe we'll be reviewing your case in a little bit.
Yeah, maybe Gabby will have a story about that too. So.
Check back in a couple months. Okay, so that's your guys' opinions. Like, just don't do it.
Yeah, that's my opinion. At my age, friendship it's more valuable than a relationship.
What do you?
I think just talk it out too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, because it's something that involves, like, 2 people.
Yeah.
So it's not just the one person, and I think like both of you are gonna have fears, right? Like, it's not just gonna be like one person. The guy and the girl are probably gonna both have like valid fears about that.
Plus, if they're considered each other best friends, they must be at least comfortable talking to each other about most things, right? So, like, I guess they can talk it out, no?
Probably a really awkward conversation. I'm not gonna lie.
What part about it would be awkward?
Well, because it's that beginning stage of, like, viewing your best friend as a romantic partner, or, like, as a sexual partner, and it's weird.
A sex object.
It's weird.
I don't know, like, I
It's
cannot
just
see
weird.
my best friends as in a sexual way. I see them and I'm like, oh, you. Like,
Like,
no.
Yeah, no, same. When I look at my, like, guy best friend, I'm like, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Oh.
Sorry, Ben.
It's okay, I understand, Gabby.
But it's true though, like, starting to, like, look at someone else like that, it's, like, uncomfortable.
Yeah.
She has other guy best friends too.
But it's so weird because as I'm sitting here, I'm looking at Ben and I'm like,
Nobody wants to fuck you right now.
no, but I'm like, it's weird thinking about it because it's like, what the fuck are you I mean? So it's weird. It is weird.
And
So
you
maybe
swap
that's what I'm saying. Like the
internally, so-
communication part, the communication part might be difficult because thinking those thoughts are uncomfortable. So I think it's hard to start, but yeah, I do agree. I think you have to communicate regardless because it's impacting both people, right? So,
Or fuck it out, like Annie said.
well, we don't suggest. Okay, we don't suggest doing that. Don't take Annie's advice.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one. My best friend of almost 7 years told someone a super intimate and deep personal
that's
secret of
unfortunate.
mine, and I feel really betrayed and disrespected. She's acknowledging her mistake and saying sorry, but I don't know if I can get past it.
No, don't do it.
What's the
Yes, you
secret?
guys had really strong feelings about that one.
What's the secret?
It doesn't.
Can you
Well, they're not
comment?
gonna tell
Like,
Reddit.
oh, my best friend say my secret. This is my secret.
Can you find the best friend's Reddit account? Maybe she missed it.
I'll check for an update. Stay tuned next
Okay,
week.
okay.
Part 2.
Yeah.
Annie, you seem to be triggered by this. What was your input there?
See, I was initially triggered because like one of my roommates was on like the receiving side of that, where like she had been best friends with this one girl for like years, like over 7 years, like a while, and they decided to like her best friend decided to date their other best friend, and then it didn't end well. So they're like trying to be friends still, like the boy and the girl, but it's just like they keep trying to go to my friend for information about the other person. So like the one friend does it all the time, and then like the guy asked the question about my friend's friend. Let me know if y'all are, this is getting too confusing because it's hard without names. So then basically my one friend by accident like told something that she shouldn't have, and then the two people who hadn't been speaking in like months talked, and then my one friend or the one friend got super upset about like at my friend being like, you betrayed my trust and everything like that. But I think in that like specific situation, it's because they were so like she was both of their friends, and she asks my friend about information all the time, so it's like kind of, it's really fucked. But either way, I think that one's hard considering like she made one mistake and you have a whole history of like over 7 years of her never doing that. So it's like, are you gonna like ruin a 7-year relationship over one mistake? Because like trust grows back. Like it may be hard, but you can grow to trust someone again as they prove it to you, you know? Like maybe like it could be like a 3 strikes you're out type of situation. What? Do you have a problem?
Sorry, I was bugging Gabby. Actually, I do have a problem. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
So like in my mind, I know personally if I had a friend who I'd been friends with for like over 7 years and they were perfect up until that point, or even just good, like good enough that I thought they were a good friend up until that point, and they made one mistake, it might be a little bit tricky for me to get over. But I just have to sit down and think 7 years of no issues, and I'm about to throw like one of the closest friends away for one mistake. Like
I
wonder
think
what that secret
like
was.
I know.
Because
I'm
that must have been like
curious.
so personal. Like if it's something that she
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
thought like crushed her life enough to give up a
Yeah.
friendship like that, that must
Yeah.
be pretty serious.
But I think it will also depends on what she said. Like
100%,
what was
yeah,
the
like-
secret about? Because
Yeah.
there, I don't know, with your best friend normally you have like thousands of conversations that maybe you don't want people to know, but maybe was you. I really believe like if you have a relationship with someone like a friend for 7 years, you already know. You already know that the type of things that she will say by mistake or no, because you really learn how to know your best friend.
yes,
And
I
in
agree.
7 years, I will completely believe that it's gonna be depends of what they say, because it will be depends in the moment that you say that secret, like what was happening, to who the person say there. So I think it will be so many like variables around that. It won't be just like the mistake. It will be the time, the moment, the person that you say, because I think that you won't if it's for example a real huge secret and she say like the person say exactly to the person that she shouldn't, like exactly, that's not as normal mistake. But if it's something that really you know that you just say, you mentioned that you didn't want it on other person to know, but it was a random person or something like that, I think I will think more like that.
Yeah, if you knew someone for 7 years, I think you'd know if they wanted out or not. Like
Yeah.
that must have been pretty
Yeah.
intimate.
And I think like for me, like personally, like I would look at it as how is my friend responding? Like, are they apologetic? Are they saying like I fucked up, I'm really sorry, like let me make it up to you? In that case, I might be open to that possibility. But if they're just like,
I'll
oh,
do
it
it
is what
again.
it is, like, no, but if they're just kind of like not that, like, if they're like nonchalant about it or like not caring that much,
Mhm.
I'd be like, okay, well, this is deeply hurting me and you don't even care enough to apologize. So it's
Yeah.
like, I feel like if they're acknowledging their mistake, apologizing, and like trying to fix it, it's worth giving them another chance. But again, like if this happens again or like a third time, then like maybe you need to reassess the quality of that friendship.
3 strikes,
Yeah.
you're out, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that was all of our Reddit questions for this episode. We have a couple questions called Going Deeper.
I love going
Hey, I made direct eye contact with Ben and I just
Honestly, the
couldn't.
moment you said going deeper, I want to say,
Yeah.
like I think
I know that's exactly what you were thinking. I was like, I can't look at you.
love
Going
going
deeper.
Not that deep.
Oh my god. Okay, so these are just a bit more like questions with a bit more discussion around. So the first question, which I feel like is kind of controversial, but I want to get your guys' opinions.
Our first actual
I
controversial
love
topic.
controversial topics.
Do you guys think men and women can really be just friends?
Yes.
Okay, don't look at me like that,
Yes.
Ben.
Most cases, no. A lot of time, there's always like sublime feelings. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Boundaries are important
Yeah.
Yeah.
in a friendship that is between male and female, or two gay women. Like either way, if there's 2 people that are like that can like sexually they sexually attract, like magnet, shit. Like if there are
Opposites
2,
attract. Are you good?
no, bro, I don't want to explain this.
The hand motions.
I love it.
I'm trying to be inclusive, but if there's a friendship where the 2 people like that gender, then I think there is boundaries that need to be made, and communication, which is really important in order to make that work. Because especially if either one of them are in a relationship, then you want to, because like the stigma surrounding it is there already goes stigma surrounding male and female or whatever, what have you, relationships. So I think that communication and boundaries are very important in order to keep that a purely friendship.
I mean, my personal opinion is pretty much the same. I think that in a lot of cases, it's not possible because I think kind of like what Ben said, there is those like underlying feelings in a lot of cases, but I feel like it's very situational, right? Like,
Mhm.
I don't know. I just feel like if one's in a relationship, then generally they're not gonna be friends with a guy with that thing in mind, right? So
Yeah.
I think like it's very situational, and I think just like establishing those boundaries, and I also think it's like how those 2 friends
Interact. with
connect
each other.
and interact with each other, right? Like, is it purely just like almost like a sibling thing? Your thoughts on this before we go to Nathaly there?
As the
Okay.
other half of the best friend.
Okay, yeah, I think.
Best dates for life.
Thank
They
you
have
for
bracelets
asking for my
and
opinion, guys. You listening?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay, well, I don't want to share anymore.
Benjamin, go.
Okay, so I think it's most of the time it's no. A lot like it's hard to do that. Like a lot of time there's like little feelings underneath. But for example, like I feel like we have a good friendship, and I feel like it's possible, right? It's just
I mean, Ben's compared me to his sister, so.
it really depends how you view that other person.
Yeah,
right?
I agree. I really think it depends on like
like
the connection,
For example,
yeah.
you act a lot like Emma, so I see Emma in you. But,
yeah. That's
right?
his
It makes it
sister,
easier
for
for me
anyone
to be
that
friends
doesn't
with you. I have multiple siblings.
Yeah.
Too many.
Nathaly, what's your perspective?
So for me, I really believe on that. Like you can have a friendship with a guy. I really have like 2 very close friends since I don't know, for more than 18 years, and nothing happened or nothing like escalate in any way. But I also believe that it's at the same point like how do you value that friendship. It can happen that when you start a friendship with someone you still feel attracted, because what I see in this point of my life is more that sometimes the person that is next to you just show you what you would like to have in your life. But in the same way, maybe you like that person, but you know that if you value that friendship, it will keep for a longer time. In my case, I really believe in that. I have a best friend since I like 11 years old, and never in my life, I see him in other eyes. Like for me, it's like you. Like I see him and it's like no.
Like your brother almost.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be easier to have friends of the opposite gender the older you get too.
Have you ever lost a best friend?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, sorry.
I have a yes. Sorry. This has finally been all my like trauma. So
Sit back. We got a big one here for you guys.
Fuck this one out.
Pardon?
You didn't fuck
What?
this one out?
No, I didn't fuck this.
Yeah.
I might need some tissues here. The water works. Okay. Yeah, I'll just cry directly into this cup. It wasn't serious. So I met this girl first day of grade 9. And we were absolutely inseparable. For years. And in, I'd say around grade 11-ish, like the beginning of grade 11, she started dating this guy who was very, like, protective, like, emotionally abusive. Like, he was really, really toxic. And the only person that he would let her hang out with,
Out with?
oh, so I said it right. It was me. So I was the only person that he would let her interact with at all. And so she kind of felt like when they broke up that she kind of resented me for that. Because it's like, oh, this is the only person I could ever hang out with, so I don't want to hang out with her anymore, and I want to go hang out with all the other people. And at the time, I had devoted everything to her, and I went to a really small school. So, like, my high school was very small, like, under 300 people in, like, all of the
How
classes.
small?
Very small.
Same size as my high
So,
school.
No, like he's supposed to fall. It's not okay.
but either way, by the time that she, like, left me, everyone else had already had, like, they were in their cliques. And I went to a really cliquey high school. So I was by myself. And so I went to a different friend group. But then she decided to go over there and, like, take those friends from
She
me.
missed you.
So that definitely wasn't it. Like, she was the type of girl that was, like,
Malicious.
my friends, like, the guys that I liked would always like her. Like, did you ever have those people where it's like, I was never good enough and they always wanted, like, they would go through me to get to her. So it was, like, really, like, it was, like, really traumatizing. So then I went to another friend group, but then she came in and then they became her friend. And then that's when the whole pass the night happened and stuff like that. Where, like, I came up with a plan, but then she just left me out of it completely. So,
Yeah.
like, we were on and off, and then right when I graduated, I completely cut her off, like,
Sounds
for
like a dick.
years. Yeah, like, big dick. And until recently, actually, we started hanging out again, and I was able to put my, like, past behind me because I had so many friends now that I know genuinely care about me and, like, want to hear about my issues, and, like, I feel, like, validated and, like, I'm enough. But, like, so I was like, yeah, I could have a healthy relationship with her without, like, tying my feelings to the way that she was viewing me, if that kind of makes sense. Until I liked this person, and then that person didn't like me back. And I was okay with that. I moved on. But then that person met the girl, and then they started liking that person again. And this was really recently. So I was like, it was very triggering for me because I had come so far and realizing, like, my worth and everything like that. But then it was like I was back in high school again and I wasn't good enough. And so I had, like, a moment where I was, like, super triggered and it was horrible. Anxiety attack in the middle of a bar. It was really bad. But what was the question? Sorry, was it just, like, the whole thing?
Yeah, kind of just. I just asked a question. Have you ever lost a best friend? How did it impact you?
Okay, yeah. It if anything, it made me stronger. Like, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Like, now I know my worth and I know that I'm good enough and I don't tie my emotions to and how I feel on how other people view me, which I think was really good. But, like, there's still times where, like, I'll see her Instagram and I'll get, like, a panic attack, or I'll see her and it's, like, aggressively like, triggering for me. And she has no idea. Like, she has no idea like, the impact on me. And so she'll just keep coming back and, like, dishing and, like, telling me all of her issues that are going on. And it's, like, weighing me down. And I just never told her because I'm like, oh, well. Like, so I think I could have handled that whole situation a lot better.
Yeah,
And
that
so,
sounds
like,
like she was using you.
100%. And it's like, I feel I'm gonna get a place now, but, like, it still hurts. Like, I feel like losing a best friend is, like, one of those things where if they were close enough, it'll constantly come and just, like, nick you down every once in a while. Like, losing a best friend is very, very hard. Like, some people say that it's worse than heartbreak. Like, I would say that sometimes losing a best friend is worse than, like, losing a significant other. Well, because they kind of are. Like, they are, you becoming in a relationship with them, just, like, not sexually, but that doesn't mean there's not intimacy there. Like, it's just as hard as breaking up with like a boyfriend or girlfriend or other. Like, it's hard.
Yeah, it's just hard in a different way, but it's
Yeah.
still equally hard.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you think you have any tips for people that might be going through that now, like how to cope with the loss of a best friend?
I think the main thing for me when I was getting over it was surrounding yourself with people that like will boost you up, and like, or as like my family says, like, fill your bucket. So if there are people that are like taking water out of your bucket, like that's not going to make you feel bad, like good. That's not good for your mental health. So when you're going through something that's like there's a hole in your bucket, you got to find people and surround yourself with friends and family who will put that water back as it's getting drained out. Like, the only way that you can come out of like a best friend breakup is to like surround yourself with people that are building you up and not tearing you down. Like, you need to see the light at the end of the tunnel and realize that there are other people out there and other friends that will treat you the way that you deserve to be treated. Thank you.
God damn. Go off.
Her little TED talk.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you for coming to my TED talk.
That's
No,
awesome.
honestly, thank you for sharing that. That I can tell that was like a really difficult time for you, so I appreciate you sharing that. Does anyone else want to give their
Go
input,
next.
or you don't have to share if you don't want. Just thought it'd be a
I
good
was
way.
gonna say, mine's
or
not
you-
gonna be
or-
nearly
or
as
yeah,
I'd
even
love
just
to
like
hear,
tips.
a guy's like,
Like,
Even if you just have like
perspective.
tips or anything
well,
like that. or how it
I've
impacted
always
you.
had two friends I've always considered my best friends, and like sometimes we do grow apart. There's been periods like we don't talk for a couple of years, like over minor things. Like one time we were playing on play structure, and one of my friends like smoked me on top of the head with a hockey stick. So
Oh
I
my
threw him off the play structure, and we didn't talk for a couple of years. But like now we're really close again. And just like stuff like that. And then the other one, like he's like, we played soccer together. So during the summers we'd be really close, and during the winters we just grew apart. And like right now he's living down in Guelph, so I don't see him that frequently. But like I know whenever we do see each other, it's like we're never gone.
like no time's passed.
Yeah, exactly. So like sometimes friends do grow apart, but what's important is like you do come back a lot of the time, right? So,
No. For me, I just have one that I like best friend that was like for my whole high school. She was the person that was with me all the time, that my party friend, my real friend, my everything. And her personality is the type of person that need attention. So she needs to be the important one. And I don't give a shit about people. So in my case, in that something really hard happened in my life like 7 years ago, was the only moment in my life that I really believe I needed her. And for her personality to think that she is the only important person, she just left me alone at that moment. Thank God I have a best friend since 2015, so it's been my best friend forever, and she's always been there. But that one for me was really hard because I was moving at that moment to another country. The most important person in my life had a very healthy issue, and I really need her at that moment, and she wasn't. So after that, I just let it go, and I left to another country, so that make it easy. But I found out with her that she's the type of person that always want to take things from you. So she didn't was with me or for me when I needed, but I was living in another country, and she asked me after a month, "Oh, can you buy me this?" Because I was
gosh.
like in New York, and I remember seeing that message, and I was like, "This bitch."
just
Like, what
completely
the fuck?
using you, eh?
Yeah, it was like no. So it's the only person that at this point in my life I really feel that I lost her completely. She's still part of my life. I hope she doesn't know this. But I don't feel for her anything else. Like
Yeah.
it's like those type of people that you really believe and remember the good memories. But I don't trust on her because I really believe that she just want to be. She's like egocentric, so she needs to be the center of everything. And for me right now, the only advice that I will give is the same. Like, just give yourself priority. There is so many people in the world that will give you worth, and that will show you that you are really what they want next to them in friendship, relationship, or whatever you have. So if you feel that one person is taking you up, or that your mental health is given involved for have someone in your life, you really need to let them go, because it will really affect you a lot years later. So just let whatever take you off.
Yeah, I feel like it's really important to surround yourself with like positive people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think the people you surround yourself really impact your mental health and your well-being. I truly do believe that. So surround yourself
Get
with the
friends
best
that make
people.
you food.
Okay. The tuna sandwich I made.
Thank you for the
Wednesday.
sandwich.
If his mom's listening to this, I added microgreens so he eats more vegetables.
Hi, Mom.
So the last question is, do you ever feel competitive with your close friends?
Absolutely.
If not, how do you deal with friends who are always trying to like one up you?
Oh, like that.
Yeah, because I feel like we've all experienced like friendships where either we're kind of competitive, like there's that competitive nature, or you have a friend who's always trying to like one up you in any given situation.
It can be annoying too. Like it's like, oh, I did this, and they can't be happy with you. It's like, oh, you did that, but guess what I just did? It's like, oh, you got like a 70. You like, well, I got 95. It's like, thanks for that. Really made
and it kind of makes you
devalues
shit.
you. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like, I tried really hard for this, and you just like devalued everything right there. But there's also the other side. Like I'm competitive with my friends, but it's like a fun way.
Yeah, it's not like
It's not-
actually
yeah,
like
we're
I'm
not
trying to be
put-
better than you.
Exactly. We're not trying to
Yeah.
put each other down. It's just like little things like games and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Does anyone else want to speak to that, or?
I will.
Yeah, go
In my house right now, like my student house, a lot of the people in the house are going through a very hard time right now. Like we all have different issues, and they're all bad. Like we're all going through a really, really hard time. We're getting pushed through the ringer over and over again.
Just why you play Fortnite. Sorry.
No, we play Fortnite to cope. But yeah, there's just a lot, and so like something will happen. Like for example, something in my life that will be like devastating to me, and I'll try and go to like one of my roommates and be like, "This happened. Like I'm absolutely super upset," and then they'll be like, "Oh well, this happened to me," and like I'm super upset. So it's like we're trying to one up each other's trauma, and I can't say that I haven't done this. Like I can surely say that I've done this too, but it's just like then it's just super negative because we're all trying to one up each other when the only thing that either of us wants is to be like validated. Like we just want you to be like, yeah, like that sucks. Like I'm super sorry for you. But like as girls, or it's just like we want everyone to feel bad for us, or at least this is in my house specifically, where it's like there's so much shit going on, like so much, and we're all just we want everyone to feel bad for us. So we're like constantly like trauma dumping on we're trauma dumping on each other and wanting us to like validate and tell us that it's going to be okay, but instead of that they're taking it as competition, which is like really frustrating because it's like I don't want to fight with you about whose story is worse and whose lives are worse right now. Like just tell me everything's going to be okay so I can move on, and like help me move on and give me advice instead of taking it as me like threatening you in your sadness. Like
yeah, you may have gone through that, but I went through this.
Exactly. Like
it's like I just want to be comforted.
Like
too,
just someone tell me that everything's gonna be okay and not try and one up me. Like,
and I think there's like an element of like that's also natural.
Yeah,
right?
oh,
Like I feel like
100%.
it's natural for people to do that to an extent. Like I'm kind of reflecting on my own life right now, and my best friend and I are both going through the same like fitness journey. And
Am I the best friend?
no. And she's seeing results that are different than mine or that are faster than mine, and so sometimes it's hard, right? Because like you're seeing that and you're so happy for them, but at the same time you're just kind of like, I wish I was seeing those same results, or like I wish that was me, kind of thing. And then I'm sure there's been times where I've had results and she's kind of felt the same way as well, right? So it's kind of
Go get your protein.
it's natural. Stop it. I do now. I have my little protein shake in the morning.
Slay.
But it's natural, like to do that. I think.
Doesn't count.
But I think what I'm saying is like it's natural to feel that. I think where it gets unhealthy is where you're like aware of it and doing it to hurt the other person.
Oh, definitely.
Right? Like
yeah.
I feel like as long as you're happy for that person, but like obviously it's natural to like be like, oh, like I'm so happy for them, but I wish I was experiencing that as well, right?
Like, come down to attention seeking too. Like
it's all about the intentions for sure.
like, oh, you want some attention? No, mine.
Yeah.
I think it's also depends on the friendship. There, like you will feel the way that people say things to you and add to you depends on what happened to you, and that will make you think like if they are your friends or not. To be honest, if someone, anytime that something is happening, your life can be completely shitty, but if you don't have a friend that can support and make you feel better, believe me, you need better friends. That's not other thing. And that happened, and it's completely normal that some people have different paths in life and some people are more lucky than others. That's reality and you cannot change that.
Yeah, life's not fair.
Yeah. And that's reality. No, but like really,
That's
like,
so dark.
It's not.
No,
Life's
it's
not
not.
fair.
It's
no,
generally
but
not.
it's not
No, I
that.
know.
Like the way that I see is like sometimes you have two completely paths, like completely different, and one is more lucky than other, and it's not more than that. But it's the way that you add to the luckies of the other person. If you are a real friend, you will be happy even that you feel like maybe something happened. Like for example, for me right now, my very close friend here, she's leaving. And I'm so sad because she's leaving me. But I'm so excited because I know that what is happening right now for her is what she was dreaming of. So it's the way that you
It's
really
bittersweet.
take the things
Yeah.
in for the person. It's like if you really care about someone, for the best or for the bad that it's happening to them, you will be there. And you will have your best like face and support to give to them.
Overall, I think it's just intention, right? Like, do you have good intentions or bad intentions? And if you can answer that either way, you're gonna have your answer if that's like healthy or not. So
And you can feel it. You can feel the intention of the people when they're close to you.
for sure.
Bad intentions all the time. No.
So that's gonna be the end of the episode today, guys. So I just wanted to give a huge thanks to all of our guests for coming out today, and we wanted to thank all of you guys for tuning in and listening this week. If you want to see more episodes like this, let us know on Instagram or email at the SK Boys Podcast. Have an amazing week at SLC, and we hope to see some of you around the school.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.